You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Young and the Restless fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I have got your Young and the Restless episode info for Season 50, Episode 205, airing on Friday, July 21st, 2023. And believe it or not, Adam, Sharon, and Nick are uniting and forming a common front against somebody that they all need to deal with. They are all on the same page. It's really exciting stuff. We've also got Chelsea, Billy, Summer, Audra, lots to unpack in this episode. We're excited to tell you all about it. All right, we're going to dig in. So Chelsea Lawson is starting her new job at Marquette, and she and Billy get together to talk before her first day at work. And he has gotten her this little trinket to celebrate. It's a bracelet with a bee on it. And he says, bees are good luck. I didn't know that. I'm scared of them. But anyway, she's nervous, but he's cheerleading her and then leaves her with a smile. And Summer joins her at Crimson Lights then. And she and Chelsea are going to have a pre-workday talk and talk about the path forward for them both at Marquette. And then Summer starts venting about Kyle. Why? Well, Summer's fresh off a scene with Kyle and Audra at the GCAC that happens on Friday. We're going to tell you about that, but if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our Y&R updates and news. Okay, so over at the GCAC, Summer cornered Audra and asked if she's after Kyle for his money. And Audra doesn't like this public scene. Remember, she already told Kyle she likes to keep her private life private, and she is not enjoying his estranged wife coming at her in public. She calls the scene that Summer's making tacky and says that if Kyle wanted to be with Summer, then he'd be with Summer, but he's not. And Summer thinks that Audra is just disgusting, and she tells Summer to show some class, and it's back and forth. And Summer's going off about Harrison and how this split is affecting the kid. And Audra suggests that she's using Harrison to try and be manipulative. And of course, Summer won't like that. And then Kyle walks up and joins the fray. Summer calls Audra's perfume cheap and stalks off with a quip about maybe Kyle can get her something better from Jabot. So Audra then asks Kyle if he's having second thoughts, but he says his marriage cannot be saved and she's got stuff to do, so she's going to take off. But back to this conversation with Summer and Chelsea at Crimson Lights. So Summer bizarrely tries to blame Diane for her marriage meltdown because she says Diane coming back made her mom go nuts. And then, so she's still blaming Diane for her marriage, even though, mind you, Diane has been super nice to her, even when she knew that Summer was keeping a secret that kept her in jail. Diane has been extremely cool with her. Even after Kyle broke up with her, she said, you know, I hope your marriage works out. She's been very supportive, and Summer's kind of being a crap bag as far as I'm concerned with this, but you know, everybody's got their opinion. So Summer tells Chelsea that Kyle already has a new job and a new girl, and Chelsea is trying to get her out of this moody, broody, angry thing and just says, you know, even if he won't forgive you, that's okay. You need to forgive yourself and you need to move forward. And she says, you know, things are over. Sometimes they're over and there's nothing you can do to change that. But obviously, Summer is nowhere near the acceptance part of the grief process over her marriage burning up in flames. So we have Victor Newman texting Adam wanting an answer to the ultimatum that he gave him about the business, about running it with Nick, and it being under the Newman umbrella. But Adam is busy meeting Nick and Sharon at the GCAC, and so he isn't answering his dad. So Nick, Sharon, and Adam are all there together, and they decide they're going to do this. They're going to run the merged companies together. And more importantly, they're going to present a united front to Victor, and so they head out to the ranch. Once they get there, Adam tells Victor that he still really resents the lack of autonomy that he was promised and has now been taken away because he doesn't want to be subject to more of Victoria's insane whims. Just a side note, I was so appalled at the last episode where Victor hugs her and tells her how proud of her she is because Victoria basically blames her horrible behavior from being raised at his knee and watching how he ran the business. Victor was a real turd back in the day. If you don't remember, He was so shady. The stuff he was doing with Jack and Jabot, and to be fair, the stuff that Jack just did in return, but it's not like the mustache is a stellar example of how to run a company. And Victoria's being awful and then saying, but Daddy, I learned to be awful by watching you. And then he's like, I'm so proud of you. Just, ugh. All right. I just have to say that. I want Victoria slapped down so bad. She's out of control. And I just really hope that Victor is 3 moves ahead of her and is just messing with her head. But I don't know. Because he just has let her run roughshod over everybody. So anyway, the 3 of them, Nick, Adam, and Sharon, tell Victor they want 6 months of no Newman oversight at Augustus, no oversight, no interference. Victor counteroffers with 3. Adam tells him that by the time they're done growing Augustus, that Newman Media is going to be redundant. And that really irritates Victor, who says that Audra's running it. And then Adam throws back at this should be a family business. And they talk about whether Nate and Audra are sketchy. We all know they're sketchy. So it's very interesting. And obviously this thing is going to blow up with Victor again. So back at the GCAC, where most scenes take place these days, Billy and Kyle are chatting after Audra left. Kyle tells his uncle that the move to Newman Media was not done to upset Jack at all. It's basically about he doesn't want to be at Marquette with Summer, so he had to go somewhere. Billy says there's an Abbott Civil War brewing, and Kyle suggests that Billy should go ahead and just fire Ashley, get rid of her. And Billy then asks him about his marriage, and Kyle says it's over, and he's okay with that, and he seems to be. And then Kyle says, maybe they'll be friends one day later, but the romantic part, the marriage part is over. And Billy says the right things. He says supportive things. And then we have one last thing to talk about that happens in the episode. But if you haven't already, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Y&R spoilers and news. And if you haven't but enjoyed this video, please click us a like. So Audra walks back up on Kyle as Billy is leaving. And Billy already warned him that Audra can be kind of extra, but Kyle's not worried. He's really into it. So Kyle had a meeting canceled, or Audra had a meeting. There was a meeting that was canceled, leaving the 2 of them free to go upstairs, and you know what they're going to do up there. And that's what they're doing when the episode ends on Friday. There's a bunch of good stuff coming next week, though, and we're really excited to share that with you. So be sure and check back here for Y&R full weekly spoilers, 2-week spoilers, and more.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.